Don't skip this reading. Take a deep breath and let go of the need to prove anything for the next few minutes. As I turn over the very first card, the energy is already incredibly emotional. This is a symbolic reading, so take that genuinely resonate with your situation and leave the rest. The first thing I notice, it's not movement, it's emotion. Deep emotion, the kind that someone tries to hide from everyone around them until it becomes too heavy to carry alone. The cards suggest there may be someone connected on your energy who has reached a point where keeping everything inside is becoming increasingly difficult. So this is not the energy of certainty, it's the energy of realization. Sometimes people spend weeks, months, even years trying to convince themselves they no longer care. Then, one ordinary evening, a memory returns, a photograph appears, a familiar song being playing. Someone casually mentions your name. And suddenly, everything they believed they had buried rises back to the surface. So the cards is invite you to explore what that symbolism may be revealing. As I continue turning cards, I see someone sitting quietly after everyone else has gone to sleep. No distractions, no conversation, no social media. No, just silence. And silence has a remarkable way of revealing truth where we'll be avoiding. This card speaks about someone confronting emotions they may have spent a long time pushing away. Not because anyone forced them to, no, but because their heart eventually asked to be heard. Now, here is something fascinating. The next card is not focused on the other person at all. It immediately turns towards you. Why? Spirit is asking you a question. Have you been placing your life on hold while waiting for someone else's emotional journey to become clear? If so, this reading gently reminds you that your own life deserves to keep moving. So, healing does not require someone else's explanation. Peace does not require someone else's timing. Your future does not depend on another person's ability to express themselves. This is one of the strongest messages appearing so far. Now, after I turn over this card, interesting, this card represents communication. Not necessarily spoken communication, sometimes communication happens through the energy, through meaningful coincidences, through unexpected announcement, through moments that encourage reflection rather than immediately action. The cards are encouraging patience rather than assumptions. Instead of asking, what are they doing right now? Try asking, what is this experience teaching me about my own heart? That single question often transforms the entire reading. This reminds me of a personal consultation I had some time ago. I will change identifying details to protect the client's privacy, but the lesson has stayed with me. A woman came to me feeling completely exhausted. She wasn't asking whether someone loved her. She wanted to know why she couldn't stop thinking. Thinking about connection that seems unfinished. So, the cards didn't spend the entire session describing the other person. No. Instead, they repeatedly pointed back towards her own healing, confidence, and the future. And several months later, she wrote me again. She told me, I booked a reading to understand someone else. Instead, I finally understand myself. That message has remained with me ever since, because the most meaningful reading often don't simply answer questions. They help us see our own path more clearly. Perhaps this is why so many people choose a personal reading. Every situation carries unique details that a general reading simply cannot explore. Now let's continue. The next card. Ooh, bring lots of energy first. It's so powerful symbol. You can see what's going on in my studio right now. Wow, it's amazing. It's like a bridge. One side represents the past and other represents everything that is still waiting to unfold. Amazing strong energy of this card. You can see how lights change. It's all about energy. Many people stand in the middle of that bridge so far too long, looking backward, wondering what if. Yeah, but spirit gently encourages you to keep walking. Not because the past doesn't matter, but because your future deserves your attention too. As I turn over the next card, I notice light beginning to surround your energy. Not because every answer has arrived, not only because of that, but because your perspective is beginning to change. And sometimes this is the moment everything else begins changing as well. So let's see what the next group cards reveals. As I turn the next card, the energy became even calmer, but much stronger. Not because every question has been answered, but because something inside this connection is beginning to shift. One of the strongest symbols appearing here is a reflection. Sometimes it means life is inviting everyone involved to see the situation through a different lens. I want you to notice something. The cards are no longer showing rushing. They're not showing dramatic declarations, they're showing pause. And pause is often where the deepest transformation begins. Many people are afraid of silence. Spirits is not. Sometimes silence gives the heart enough space to hear what constant noise has been covering. Now look at the next card. It represents truth. Not necessarily spoken truth, inner truth. The kind what arrives quietly after we stop arguing with ourselves. One more really strong energy of card. The cards suggest there may be emotions, conversation, or realizations that have not yet been fully expressed. Whatever does become spoken words or remain private reflection depends on many factors outside the scope of general reading. What matters here is that its symbolism is asking you to see. Are you allowing your happiness to depend on something you cannot control? Or are you beginning to build a life that feels meaningful regardless of another person's choices? That question changed everything. This really reminds me of another personal consultation. As always, I'm changing details to protect my client's privacy. So, a client once came to me convinced that the only thing she needed was an answer from one specific person. That was entire reason she booked a reading with me. But as we explored the cards together, something unexpected happened. The reading keeps returning to her own future. Yes, new opportunities, new confidence, a version of herself she had almost forgotten. At first, she lauded and said, Atma, I didn't come here to learn about myself. And several months later, she wrote again. So she said, that reading completely changed the direction of my life. The answer I was chasing became far less important than the person I was becoming. That's one of the reasons I value personal reading too so deeply. Every person carries different experiences, different questions, different timing, even, yes. A private consultation allows us to explore those unique layers in much greater depth than a general reading ever can. Now let's continue. The next card is fascinating. It shows a lantern. Whatever first symbol appears, I immediately think of guidance. Not certainty, not prediction, guidance. A lantern doesn't illuminate the entire road. It simply shows the next few steps. And those few steps are often all that truly needed. Many of you are trying to see the next 6 months. 6, yeah. Spirits keeps bringing your attention back to the next decision. The next conversation, the next opportunity, the next act of courage. So life unfolds one fateful step at a time. Now something else is becoming very clear. The energy surrounds you, it's expanding. You are beginning to attract people who resonate with who you are becoming, not who you are used to be. That is one of greatest, amazing sign of personal growth. Sometimes we mistake the end of the chapter for the end of your story. So this is end of the chapter. The cards it gently remind us. It rarely is. Every ending creates space. Every space creates possibility. And every possibility begins with a single choice to keep moving forward. As I reach for the next card, I feel there is one message Spirit wants someone watching today to hear. Let's see. What is it? Stop assuming that nothing is happening simply because you cannot see movement yet. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees the first green leaf. Your own journey may be unfolding it's exactly the same way. Stay with me, because the next cards begin revealing why this period of waiting may be preparing you for something far greater than you currently imagine. So as I turn next card, everything becomes quieter, not empty, intentional. Almost as through spirits is asking you to stop looking outside yourself for just a moment. And pay attention to what is changing with you. The image of this card, it's like a compass. Compass doesn't remove uncertainty. It simply helps you keep moving in the right direction. This is exactly what this reading is encouraging. Because when you become aligned with your own values, what will happen? You will stop chasing situations that ask you to abandon them. Now look closely at these next cards. It represents timing. One of the hardest lessons in any spiritual journey is accepting that we cannot force every answer to arrive when we want it. Many people ask me during private reading, Atma, when exactly will everything happen? And while timing symbols can certainly appear in the cards, the deeper question is often, what can I do today that prepares me to the life I'm asking for? That is where transformation begins. So this brings me to another consultation. As always, I'm changing details and clients' names. A gentleman booked a reading because he felt stuck. He wants every answer immediately. Every date, every outcome, every detail. As we continue reading, the cards keeps returning to one message. They encouraged him to focus on rebuilding his confidence, reconnecting with his purpose, and making one important decision he had been postponing. Several months later, he reached out again, and his message wasn't about prediction coming true. It was about how different he felt. He wrote, "The biggest change wasn't that life suddenly became perfect. The biggest change was what I finally stopped living in a fear of my unknown." That is something I never forget. A meaningful reading isn't only about looking ahead, it's also about helping someone see themselves with greater clarity. That's why personal consultations are so different from general readings. General readings speak to shared energies and themes. A private reading gives us to space to explore your unique situation, your question, and symbolism that appears specifically for you. Now let's continue. The next card is beautiful. It shows some open gate. Spirits often uses this symbol when a new chapter is begins. Notice something important. The gate is already open. The question isn't whenever the opportunity exists. The question is whether you are willing to walk toward it. Many of you have spent so much time waiting for the perfect sign that you overlook the quiet invitation already appearing in your life. A conversation you have been thinking about, a course you want to take, a place you have felt drawn to visit, a creative project you will delay. Sometimes this energy, simply ordinary decision, becomes the turning point we recognize only in hindsight. The cards also encourage you to celebrate your progress, not only your destination. Look how far you already come. There is a version of you who did whatever you could survive everything you have been experiencing. Yet here you are, still learning, still growing, still choosing hope that deserves recognition. Now I feel one final message becoming stronger before we move to the next spread. Realize the belief that every meaningful connection must unfold according to your expectation. Life has always of surrounding us when we remain open, grounded, and true to ourselves. So trust the lesson, trust your growth. Thank you for watching. Don't forget subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for your donation, for your support, and for private consultation. You can book and a first pin comment in my email. See ya. Atma.